The skies are ominous here at Fairfield Ludlowe High School, but we're ready for some high school football as it's Fairfield Ludlowe and New Canaan in a little Class LL playoff matchup here at Taft Field. And good evening, everybody. With Cam Mena, I'm Aiden Blank. A pleasure to have you in on this one. Sad we couldn't get the camera going, but we are just about ready. The captain's meeting at midfield, and we are going to take a short break, and when we come back, we'll get you the national anthem, and we'll get you going for this game. Fairfield, Ludlowe, and New Canaan when we get back here on the Falcon Sports Network.
Making is, in essence, telling a story.
Okay.
Every time I make something, I'm telling a story. When a kid gets their hands on the world and learns that they can make their fantasy play, that they can make their reality, that's power. As far as I'm concerned, everyone should feel that kind of power. So if there's something that interests you, go figure out how to do it. Go tell your own story. There it is. I want to know why you make.
Share your own Why I Make story today. Visit whyimake.org.
Both my legs were amputated due to an IED. It's when you start to try to get back into like an everyday life. I absolutely felt like I lost some of my purpose. There must be something more. When DAV came into my life, they gave me a new mission. I could still be a productive member of society, could still support a family.
The DAV gave him that sense of structure and purpose again to get his life back together.
Visit DAV.org to learn more about our mission.
We believe in patriotism. We believe in our nation's youth. We believe veterans earn their benefits through their service to our nation. We believe in a strong national security. We believe in our country. For 100 years, veterans have been impacting our nation through the American Legion, and we believe it makes a difference. If you believe, learn more at legion.org/webelieve.
Welcome back to Taft Field. Aiden Blank, Cam Mena. The A-team at it once again. Fairfield, Ludlowe, and New Canaan about to tee off. And Cam, we are inside for this one. Again, it's a wet and rainy night. A lot of games getting rescheduled around the state. What can we expect out of this one? And could we see the biggest upset of the year for Fairfield Ludlowe?
I think it's definitely possible. The weather is going to play a big factor, and Ludlowe is going to have to need that in their favor. And to be honest with you, Aiden, the weather's already played a factor up here in the booth, and it's definitely playing a factor down there for both teams.
It cornered us inside as we get ready to kick things away. Both teams come in 6-2, and for New Canaan, there's certainly a revenge factor of they've been hearing it all year about how Fairfield Ludlowe is better than them and ahead of them in the standings, and now finally they get a chance to play this one and get a chance to prove who really is the best team. Return to the far side by James Bork. Knocked out around the 30-yard line. The basketball star will be taking very little time off. They'll be starting basketball in just a bit. And so he'll play for the rest of the season for football, and then about a week or two afterwards, he'll start basketball season. So the multi-sport athlete Bork on a 20 or so yard return.
Got to be a warrior to do that, definitely, especially the toll that football takes on your body. And like Aiden said, to go from the gridiron to the court in, just a matter of a few weeks.
Colin Wilson in the backfield. Ready to go here on 1st and 10, 11:55 to play in the first. Just underway here at Fairfield Ludlowe. 4 o'clock start, move from 7. Fires to the far side. It's caught for a couple of yards, Brian Howell. A familiar name for Fairfield Ludlowe, getting a few yards on the reception and a good way to start this game. A quick pass, and we're certainly going to see mostly short little quick short passes and a lot of running in this game.
Yeah, no, besides the run for this game, the key for both teams is going to have to be the short passes, those flat combos that they just ran right there with Brian Howell.
Fairfield Ludlowe and New Canaan. Again, Fairfield Ludlowe's football team, the last fall team still playing, is field hockey, boys and girls soccer were all eliminated in the opening round of states. And, of course, girls volleyball ending last night against Greenwich with a loss in the Class LL second round. And football trying to be another team to make the state playoffs, and they could with a win. Cam, we're kind of talking about this pregame. This is a game in which the winner, it's definitely got state playoff implications. The winner of this game most likely has that A spot, or at least is very close to it, that Staples currently possesses. The loser of this game would fall to 6-3 and is most likely out of the state tournament picture. Screen to Bork near side. Breaks a man. He is going to get just barely to the 40-yard line and just short of a first down. So it's after 1st and 15, as it was actually a penalty. He's going to move the ball up. We'll see what happens now here on 2nd and short for the Falcons.
Battle in the rain, running right there. Got to keep running through these New Canaan defenders. Both sides, it's going to take a toll on them early in this game.
Wilson in the backfield. Throws far near side. It's complete for a first. And that is a big completion.
You just saw with Aiden Wyckoff, he had no gloves on. And right there, a lot of the Ludlowe guys on offense are taking their gloves off already, which is a very good thing to do, especially in the rain, because it's better to catch with your bare hands than having gloves on because how slippery it's going to be.
All alone in the backfield with split receivers. 3 to the far side. Wilson takes the snap. Pocket collapsing. Fires. Intercepted. Did it hit the ground first? The referee signaling no.
That's a close one. Really did look like from this angle that New Canaan got the pick, but it's staying Falcons ball right now.
It looked like Christopher Canet, number 44 New Canaan. Again, we're a little, we don't have the best view up here. We normally have a crystal clear night here at Fairfield Ludlowe, but the rain hitting up against the window, it's a little difficult to see, but it was Christopher Canet on the near interception as Wilson takes it on 2nd down and throws complete.
You look at what Ludlow's doing. Wilson, 2-step drop quickly and looking at one receiver every time. It's either Howell or Wyckoff so far. It's quick, flat combos to his receivers.
Clock approaching 10 minutes to go here in the first. Not too many fans in the stands, only about 20 or so, I would say. And it's kind of a more intimate feeling you get. It's a little empty, but the next time Fairfield Ludlowe hits the field, it'll be Thanksgiving, and we will have that for you. We'll have the call on live on YouTube. We'll get the game going at 10 a.m. a 9:45 pregame show. I believe FSN Tailgate, as of now, is scheduled for 8. Depending on how early everybody gets up and moving on Thanksgiving morning, it'll be around 8 a.m. Moving the ball up. Ball is in between the 40 and the 45, so about the 43. Wilson takes the snap, pocket collapsing, throws, complete, and that's a first down. So Fairfield Ludlowe coming out very hot offensively, especially with their passing game. Only a couple of runs so far early, but their passes have been on point, and Wilson certainly coming to play. Really wants to go after Drew Pine. He's been hearing it all week. As we move to 3rd and short, 3rd and 1 or so.
And love what Dylan Fragomeni did right there, diving, inching closer to the first down. Need every yard in this weather.
A receiver to the near side takes the snap. That is incomplete. Nobody there to receive the ball on the 10. Landed near the 10-yard line.
Definitely some miscommunication between Wilson and Wyckoff. Wyckoff ran a curl route, just 10 yards, but Wilson was not on the same page with him. Hope that, gets fixed between him and Wyckoff on these next few plays. Communication, something also related to the weather, Aiden, everything's going to be rough in these conditions.
You say it's not a night game, but there's really no difference between this and what it's going to be like at 7 p.m. tonight, as the lights have come on already at Taft Field and have been on since kickoff. So Wilson takes the snap and drops to pass. It's complete, a tangle up, and New Canaan thinks they have it. Do they, is the question. They do. Even if they didn't, he was not far enough to get the first down, so a lousy start, a good start passing-wise, but a lousy finish to that drive as Fairfield Ludlowe has to turn it over, and Mitch Ross obviously unhappy about that as Colin Wilson jogs to the sideline.
Right out of the hands of James Bork, two guys going at it, and New Canaan defender just came up with it. Really just a battle right there between both sides, and a big stop from New Canaan, and Ludlowe inching closer to the red zone, but now New Canaan takes it for them with 9 minutes left in the first quarter.
New Canaan will come out with their big man, Drew Pine, who we've heard all about as they go trips to the far side, a receiver on the near side. It's a run straight up the gut, and that is about 5 or 6 yards complete, as New Canaan will keep the clock running and move it up.
New Canaan's going to want to do that. Dominant power runs right up the middle, some options with Drew Pine. And if they keep doing that in this rain, it is going to be a clear shot for these Rams.
Again, a loaded backfield, two guys out there. This time to the near side as it's a run straight up the gut. Second time they run that play, and it is close to a first down. We'll see if they give it to them. And again, it is very tough conditions out there. Not a whole bunch of people here on hand as we would have expected. More people filing in as we move along, though.
On that last play, New Canaan brought Jack Stort out, and he was in a three-point stance in the backfield blocking for Pine.
This is a shovel pass to the outside. Couple of extra yards gained on the ground for New Canaan. They move it up. Second and medium around the 50-yard line. Looks like to be second and 3 or 4.
Keep working the run any way you can. If it's not the power run, it's a nice play like that. Getting the ball moving up the middle. It's going to be harder to bounce it out to the outside. Keep saying that conditions is going to be a big part of this game, but New Canaan working the run early, have not even passed the ball yet.
Ready to go as it is a run, another run, and New Canaan simply not wanting Pine to throw at all, and a very cautious move at that. New Canaan really feeling like they have this game under control, and unless something drastic happens, do not want Pine putting himself on the line when they've got New Darien in their next game, which is 2 weeks from yesterday. 2 weeks from yesterday will be Thanksgiving morning, and a whole bunch of big implication games will be on the line, including Staples Greenwich up in Greenwich at Cardinal Stadium. It'll be their senior day as they go two receivers to the near side. Pine again with two backs in the backfield. His first throw of the day is complete, but slipping across the middle. Try and get a number for you. It was 5. I do not see a 5 on the roster. It was Wyatt Wilson. The senior, Wilson got it and slipped on his back. So again, Cam, the rain early coming into a factor as it begins to come down even harder here tonight. Plenty of umbrellas in the stands and plenty of wind to jerk them around as well. The snap, the give, far side, nothing much. And again, as I was saying, Pine, who's been the talk of the school as of, well, forever this week. Everybody's saying, talking about Drew Pine, and so far he comes out in his first couple of plays just about one throw. So he's not coming in with, they're not, again, trying to put him on the line this week. They want to save him for Darien, and they want him at his best in 2 weeks from yesterday. In the backfield, trips near side. Split receivers, one on each end. Takes the snap, gives up the middle, straight up the gut, deflecting a couple of guys and making his way to the end zone with a flag is, looks like it might have been O'Connell who went in. Again, these numbers difficult to decipher with the rain on the window, and it looks like they're going to call this play back, so the touchdown will not stand. New Canaan does not score, and this has been an offensive battle, but of running backs so far. And when you think about it, if it becomes a game of running backs, Ludlowe may have the advantage. It's a big matchup, one of the best we would see in the FCAC. Quentin O'Connell on New Canaan's end versus Brian Howell on Ludlowe's end. That's certainly a matchup you want to see as they move it back. And the snap on second down, screen near side. There goes O'Connell. He is ripping down the sideline, stopped at the 10. And it's 3rd and 3 on the play.
The Rams keep bringing Jack Stewart, their lineman, number 74, out in the backfield. And he's in a three-point stance right next to Drew Pine, blocking, and he had a huge block right there towards the outside, getting a few more yards. And Aiden, Drew Pine's probably definitely thinking back, if they do not score here, it's already 3rd down, to that one broken play where he headed down to Wyatt Wilson where, Wilson just slipped. Could have been a touchdown.
And Wilson stayed on his feet. He would have no doubt been in. That's the 3rd straight play that O'Connell gets the ball up the gut. Did he get a first down? We're going to see the ruling, and it looks like they did not. It is 1st and goal, so they will go 1st and goal from the 5-yard line. O'Connell just barely able to get himself across. 4:20 to play and counting in the first.
That could have been huge for Ludlowe, everything playing in their hands in this defensive drive, but no, New Canaan inching closer to a touchdown.
Takes the snap, gives straight up the gut to a lineman who is pushed, and they'll stop him at forward progress. So he broke free afterwards, but couldn't quite get in.
That's the man, Jack Stewart, the 11th grader, has been in the backfield all day so far for the Rams and gets the ball there for the first time. And, if there wasn't forward progress or, a stoppage of play, he was definitely going to the end zone. There was no one that was going to be able to bring him down.
He was in a little bit of a scrum that he ran himself into and then pushed himself out of it and broke free, but the referees had already signaled stop. Ludlowe trying to blitz Pine on 2nd and goal. Breaks a tackle. O'Connell in the backfield. He is in. Touchdown, New Canaan. O'Connell had a guaranteed loss, but spun out of a tackle and then just broke for the end zone. And with 3:13 to play in the first, it is 6-0 Rams.
Crazy play by the Rams. Pine fumbles the ball and he says, "Here, Connell, take it to the end zone," flips it to him. 3 defenders all over him, but he turns on the Jets, and New Canaan gets points on the board at the end, close to the end of this first quarter.
First quarter has really flown by the first 7 minutes of this one as New Canaan will go for the extra point. Some good kicking that we saw from Danbury last week, I should say. They brought some pretty long-distance kickers. As we have a little bit of a stoppage, trying to figure out what's going on with the kick. Again, the next time we see you for Ludlowe football, it will be on Thanksgiving morning. Fairfield Ludlowe will play at Fairfield Ward at Tetro Davis Field, an 8 a.m. or so FSN tailgate and a 10 a.m. or so kickoff. A little bit of a high snap of the play, and the kick are good. 7-0 Rams. They take the early lead. We're back in a bit here on FSN.
Both my legs were amputated due to an IED. It's when you start to try to get back into an everyday life. I absolutely felt like I lost some of my purpose. There must be something more. When DAV came into my life, they gave me a new mission. I could still be a productive member of society, could still support a family.
The DAV gave him that sense of structure and purpose again to get his life back together.
Visit DAV.org to learn more about our mission.
In blanket, Cam Mena back from Taft Field, and you are just in time for the kickoff that, again, is returned by Fairfield Ludlowe. Bork had a pretty good return the last time and swallowed up near the 25 this time as they'll mark him in forward progress. And out onto the field for the second time this day trots the Ludlowe offense. And Cam, when you look at it, Mitch Ross has got to be saying you want to do what you did on the first bunch of plays in that last drive, not what you did at the end, which was a couple of incomplete passes and then eventually a interception / turnover on downs.
It was not a bad first drive. Quick passes, quick offense. Hope to see it again from Wilson. That's what he's looking for.
And that's the only way you're going to beat this team is if you go with quick passes. They burn him here to the near side with a completion to Wyckoff.
And that's what they do. Two-step drops from Wilson, and he's going to give it to his receivers out wide that are running those 10-yard curl routes right there. Quick passes. And it doesn't give enough time for that New Canaan D-line to collapse the pocket for Colin Wilson.
They certainly did a good job, and that's partially why he was throwing so many incomplete passes. They were getting to him very fast. Almost jumped there. A little bit of movement on the defensive line. Screen for Northrup, who's got a first down and more, just short of the 40 before it being dragged back onto the sidelines. And with 2:24 to play in this first quarter, Fairfield Ludlowe moves the chains up once again. And again, they were really punching it down the field. Thought maybe they might be able to score last drive, but then a couple of incomplete passes, a run that lost them some yardage, and then a interception or turnover on downs, regardless of how you look at it.
Great play, and then just it was a good drive. Nothing that Ludlow did wrong, just a great defensive play from that New Canaan defense.
Wilson takes the snap all alone in the backfield, pass incomplete, just over the head of Kevin Quinn.
And what this Falcons offense is doing now, what they've been doing all game is those short dropbacks, those short passes. So New Canaan only has to rush 3, maybe even 4, and they could drop back 7 or 8 to get that coverage. More of a coverage sacks is what they're looking for right now.
Quinn again in the backfield with Colin Wilson, who takes the snap, looks far side, complete far side. No, it went through the hands of his intended target, Dylan Fragomeni, the junior. The 6'1 junior just couldn't get it. It was a little too low on the turf. And again, that ball went probably 10 or so yards afterwards once it went through his hands. So that just shows you this turf at Ludlowe, which is normally pretty slick, is extremely slippery tonight.
Yeah, it is. And we've seen it so far. Wyatt Wilson before for New Canaan, the New Canaan wide receiver, could have had an easy touchdown, could have trotted it in, but that slippery turf played a toll.
The snap taken, looking near side. Wilson is throwing, nearly intercepted on the near side. A great look at it from Walker Swindell. The junior had it just go right through his hands. And again, that would have been another debate as to whether he was in bounds or not at the time of the catch. But Walker Swindell just misses an interception and moves us up to 4th down and 10.
And New Canaan now blitzing a lot more because they know what Wilson's going to do. He's going to try to be quick in the pocket. So now they have him kind of in a pickle. They could either blitz him to get the ball out even quicker for him to make a mistake, or they could just let him drop back and use that coverage.
Once again, Quinn in the backfield, who actually spent some time as quarterback last year during the Thanksgiving football game. And that pass just over the head of Wyckoff on the near side, trotting to the Fairfield Ludlowe 40, where he tried to make an Odell Beckham kind of one-handed catch, and now Fairfield Ludlowe turns it over on down. So they've gone for it twice today on both possessions on 4th down, and both times they've come up short. It has not been Colin Wilson's day in terms of big plays when they're needed.
And that could have been a second pick right there to Retcherman on the New Canaan side. He just slipped, couldn't get his footing. That would have been right in his breadbasket. But once again, conditions playing a toll. But that would have been the second turnover for Ludlowe in this game, and could have been Wilson's second pick of the day, but a few drop picks so far from the New Canaan defense.
We'll see what Pine does now. The Notre Dame-bound junior for New Canaan has made headlines all throughout his career at New Canaan under head coach Lou Marinelli, who's been there what seems like forever. It's a toss to the near side on 1st down. That's a run well down the sidelines. It looked like Carl Mazabras, who just couldn't be taken down. It was actually Christian Sweeney, the sophomore, just could not be taken down on the sidelines, and I believe that's another first down, but they're actually going to call it back on a penalty. Cannon's going to have to move the ball back again. New Canaan under head coach Lou Marinelli a couple weeks off of a devastating loss to Greenwich, in which in that game, Cam, Greenwich just looks so much better than New Canaan, fundamentally better. And remember, there was a time years ago watching that game, there was a time just a few years ago where New Canaan wasn't even in the same ball field as Greenwich, and Greenwich was just getting destroyed, and now Greenwich comes out, and to nobody's surprise, that pass is caught near the 5, pushed into the end zone, but not going to get in. As I was saying, that's a Marinelli rivalry that really has shifted over the years. New Canaan was not always getting blown out by Greenwich. In fact, when John Marinelli first took over that Greenwich program, Greenwich was just nowhere near New Canaan, and then in the past years, Greenwich has just built themselves up into a point where they're really a state championship caliber team this year.
They are, and it just takes that kind of time, get those players, build up the programs below them. But right there, you see Drew Pine making a D1 throw from a D1 player.
A play action to the middle, and they are in. Touchdown, New Canaan. It's 13-0 Rams as we are just about done with this first quarter, 26 seconds to play. And we know there will be many more of those if Fairfield Ludlowe can't step it up defensively. It could be a long night for the Falcons.
It could, and if Drew Pine can get the time and work his run and make those big throws that he just made over there to Wyatt Wilson, a beautiful dot closer to the end zone, it's going to be a long night.
New Canaan will come on for the PAT, and it looks like it is no good. 13-7 Rams. We'll take a short break. Join you for the last 26 of this first quarter. Back in a moment here on FSN.
Both my legs were amputated due to an IED. It's when you start to try to get back into like an everyday life. I absolutely felt like I lost some of my purpose. There must be something more. When DAV came into my life, they gave me a new mission. I could still be a productive member of society, could still support a family.
The DAV gave him that sense of structure and purpose again to get his life back together.
Visit DAV.org to learn more about our mission.
Aiden Blank and Cam Manna, welcome back to Taft Field. The New Canaan Rams 13 and the Fairfield Ludlowe Falcons 0 indoors on this rainy evening. It's a little squib that's fumbled by Bork, who picks it up, and it looks like it will be first and 10 from the 20.
For 100 years, veterans have been impacting
they will call the kick
through
back.
The American Legion, and we believe it makes a difference. If you believe,
so the ball will fall. The ball actually fell off the tee. That just shows you the wind and rain and conditions we've been in tonight, as the media have all
Most of us like to be out in the sun. That's why sunscreen and other safety measures are key to protecting your skin from aging and cancer. The FDA recommends using a sunscreen with an SPF of 15 or higher. Also, look for broad spectrum on the label. That means both harmful ultraviolet A and B rays are blocked. Remember, SPF plus broad spectrum equal healthy fun in the sun. Visit www.fda.gov/sunscreen for more information. A message from the U.S. Food and Drug Administration.
I guarantee you, he can tell you he had a more pleasurable time at that than he has had tonight. He will actually have to hold it as the ball fell off once more. Wow.
Do they really work as
it's
well
going to
as
be
name
placed
brands? Yes,
for Drew
generics
Guida.
and name brand medications do work the same.
And
Even
Guido will
look
kick it
different,
off. It's
generics have
another
the same
squib. This
key
one, a
ingredients.
lot more to
FDA
it. Bork
approval is
fumbled
equally
it
rigorous
back at
for
the
generics,
2-yard
so
line.
they're
Has
as
to
safe and
get it.
effective as name brands.
Running
And
straight
blue
up the
even
gut.
saves some green, making
Just
him
short of
a
the
little
20,
less,
so a
well,
little bit of a
talk to
heart
your
attack
doctor
down on
about
the
generics
sideline for
and
Mitch
visit
Ross.
FDA.gov/generic
And
drugs.
he was not prepared for that at all.
He turned that into a big mistake and a problem to gaining some yards, getting to the close to the 15-yard line.
Or OTC
and honestly,
medicine
in a
packages
situation
to help
like
you
that, all
choose
you
the right
need to do
drug
and all you
and use
can
it safely?
do is
The
really
answer,
just get your
the
ball in
drug
front of
facts
it.
label.
Get
This
your
label
body in
lists the
front of it
medicine's
anyway,
active
just to block
ingredients and
it.
purpose, how much to take,
it's
and
almost
warnings
like
you should
fielding
know
a
before
ground ball
using
in
it.
baseball in
Remember,
an
even
infield that hasn't
OTC
really been
medicines you
groomed
buy
properly.
without a
You
prescription
just
can
gotta
cause
get
side
your
effects
body
you
in
don't
front of it,
want.
knock
So
it down,
follow
and
the
you got a
information
chance to
listed
make
on
a
the
good
drug
return.
facts label. For more information,
They will
visit
move the ball to the 20-yard line. End of the
fda.gov/drugfacts
first
label. A
quarter
message
has
from the U.S.
come.
Food and Drug Administration.
Fairfield, Ludlowe, and New Canaan will take a short break. It's 13-0 Rams. Back in a bit here on FSN.
Every 9 minutes, someone is diagnosed with Parkinson's disease.
And every one of them can turn to the American Parkinson Disease.
We believe in patriotism. We believe in our nation's youth. We believe veterans earn their benefits through their service to our nation. We believe in a strong national security. We believe in our country. For 100 years, veterans have been impacting our nation through the American Legion, and we believe it makes a difference. If you believe, learn more at legion.org/webelieve.
Sure, is there 2 chairs?
Second quarter back underway here on FSN. Aiden Blank, Cam Manna. And about 20 of our closest friends here in the press box. This first pass incomplete, tipped and intercepted by the Rams. We'll see if they signal a catch down on the sideline. There was a flag down as well, but what an eventful start. Wilson dropped back to pass. A piece of it got taken out by the lineman, and then it got tipped right into a New Canaan defenseman's hands, and we're going to have to find out who that was. Penalty is on the Rams on pass interference, so
big break.
The Falcons certainly do get a big break, and they get to move the ball up a lot. Now to the 30-yard line. It's a 10-yard penalty.
They're getting a ton of chances, Ludlowe, to make something happen right here. All those flags and those favors and that they're getting from these mistakes that they're making from Colin Wilson in this offense.
And a lot of people thought they might be able to stun the Rams, as that is pressure for Wilson, a backfield hit before the 35-yard line. Ball's going to be placed on the 34, and it's a big sack for the New Canaan defense.
That's what they needed. Keep rushing Colin Wilson, because on a night like this, it's going to be short throws or run, what they've been doing all night. And I think, the New Canaan sideline, those Rams have gotten into Mitch Ross's game plan, and they know what's going to happen on every single snap.
They are ready, and Mitch Ross has got to be disappointed after they came out and played the way they did against Greenwich, almost stunning the Cardinals at staying within a touchdown by the end of the first, a quarter and a half of football, and it looked like it was New Canaan Darien out there. And in the end, they just couldn't hold it together at the end, and Mitch Ross really, he came into this week ready to beat the Rams with the belief that he could beat the Rams, and in the end, it's 13-0 here in the second quarter. They have not played him nearly as well as they played Greenwich through a quarter and a half.
Both sides have not been playing well. These turnovers from the offense have been given over to the defense, and the defense obviously has not done anything too well so far to keep those New Canaan Rams off the board. So the trust is in Colin Wilson right now to get this offense down the field and get some points on the board.
We'll try and get you some scores as we move along on this Friday. It's a pass complete to the outside, but just short of a first down are the Falcons.
Wyckoff having a day so far, getting the ball. That's his 4th reception of the day, and that's his biggest play so far for the Falcons.
Greenwich and Danbury is another game tonight. But most of the media for everything is here. And it is another turnover on downs. 9:46 to play in the second, and New Canaan's going to get the ball back and a chance to make it a real big 20-7 game. Or 20-0 game, I should say. In girls soccer, it is official. Staples will meet Glastonbury in the state semifinals.
Ludlowe once again on defense. Been out there, seems like the whole entire day so far against Drew Pine and these Rams.
Xavier is up 18-0 at half on, West Haven is up 18-0 at half on Xavier. And a couple of ways to watch some broadcasts this evening. We know that Greenwich and Danbury will both be streaming their game. The rare double stream that we saw not at too many places this year. We saw it, trying to think. Only one school that we've gone to has really had broadcasting capabilities, and that would be Greenwich with our friends from WGCH. Third and medium after the run from the Rams. 3rd and 6 is the official call. 3rd and 7. And Lou Marinelli has done a great job bringing his team into this game, and you know they've had plenty of distractions. There's been the rain, there's been the change in start time, and it really hasn't affected them whatsoever as far as we can tell so far. Pine of the shotgun, takes the snap, drops out of it and takes off, and he is down the sidelines and knocked out of play.
Great play by Drew Pine. Pocket collapsing, steps up, moves to the outside, and uses the wheels to just burst and get closer to the first down.
So Pine able to get a first, or close to it at least. They are very dangerously close to the first. We'll see if they go with Pine again. Really, Pine putting himself on the line there. Something you're not going to see, and the Ludlowe defense jumped. 8:22 to play in the second, and Ludlowe...
Oh, it was false start on the offense.
Oh, wow, it is. We know Ludlowe jumped, but it was eventually verified that it was because New Canaan had a false start. The Rams 5-2 in the FCX, 6-2 overall, as are the Falcons. Both teams playing an out-of-state game. And in the end, New Canaan actually went up to New Jersey. Ludlowe stayed here at least. They took on Montville in Connecticut.
Two games you really don't see. Two teams going out of state to, or not Ludlowe, but to head out of the FCAC, go all the way up north, close to a 2-hour drive to play those kind of teams. You don't see that a ton.
And it certainly was. And this may be, we may have to have a little rain delay type entertainment. We'll find out. They're not going to delay this game, but we may have to go into that type of call as they're firing down the field. Caught by O'Connell, it looks like. Yes, O'Connell got it right inside the 5, and just like that, you thought Ludlowe may be able to lull the New Canaan offense to sleep, and they bring that up.
You give Drew Pine a squeak of room to just wiggle that ball right in there to one of his receivers. He'll do it every single time, and he does it right there. Gets a big gain, and once again, New Canaan in the red zone and getting very close to putting their third touchdown on the board.
Again, they play two in the backfield, and this is a give straight up the gut. Did they get in? No, they did not. New Canaan offense still on the field, did not score yet. And not a ton of very interesting games. Again, Greenwich and Danbury. Bridgeport Central has Darien. Ludlowe, New Canaan. Ludlowe, New Canaan just... Oh, wow, it's a fumble, and they recovered. Fairfield Ludlowe gets a lucky break, and if they want to show us they're serious, they need to score here.
That just changed the whole entire momentum of Taft Field right now on this side, the Ludlowe side. First time all day I've heard those cowbells ringing, and it's a big fumble recovery. Could be a change in momentum, and a great job by Ludlowe to put that offense back in the field to produce some points.
There you go. So Ludlowe will get it, and got to make sure they get the ball out of there as fast as they can.
Feet were just, you felt like you couldn't walk when you got home.
Lots of other state tournament games besides this one. That one incomplete, including Darien and Ridgefield in girls soccer. That's a powerhouse matchup that certainly looks to be a good one. Almost at halftime over on the DAF Media Network if you want to catch it. Get you Greenwich and Danbury as we move along.
Wilson's got to keep making his throws. Could not make that one there. Past 4 passes, he's close to being over 4 on completions and cannot get it done right there. And he's going to have to drop back in the pocket and be way more confident as he drops back here looking to throw. And to the right side is Wyckoff, incomplete. And that will be 3rd and 10. 6:11 left to go in the second quarter of football.
And they're moving it up. Fairfield Ludlowe just needs to stay competitive here. If they can make it a 14-point margin, I'll tell you the spread in this game is probably about 20. If they can make it a 14-point margin, so be it. If you need to come in here. You have no reason not to try and win this football game. Just do it. And Ludlowe seems to be somewhat competitive so far.
And finally complete to Wyckoff. First down, Wyckoff on the right side gets it on the comebacker, and Ludlowe is moving the chains.
They are indeed, and that's another big completion. Just got to look at the clock. Inside 6 to play, so.
Only down by 2 possessions. Big drive right here for the Falcons. And they have 3 to the left of Wilson. And then the lone man out wide is Wyckoff. Wilson in the backfield with Kyle Quinn, who's looking to throw, and it's complete to Fragomeni. Fragomeni up the middle of the field. He's got one man to beat. He's going to the left side. Fragomeni to the end zone, and he'll be down at the 10-yard line. Dylan Fragomeni makes some moves, and Ludlowe is in the red zone.
What a huge play by Dylan Fragomeni. Brings us into the red zone, or the blue zone as we'll call it now at Fairfield Ludlowe, and they can score right here, and if they score, there's no reason this isn't a real ball game. New Canaan, I'll tell you, New Canaan better have snapped out of it right there. They've been in sort of this trance where they were lulled to sleep by that Ludlowe D, committed the turnover. Now Ludlow's gotten 2 straight big passing plays, and they have a chance to score, make it interesting.
Wilson running it to Kyle Quinn, and he's in a scrum going nowhere at the 10-yard line. 5:03 to go and counting in the first half of football. And Fragomeni just changing the whole momentum. That one fumble turns into a Fragomeni post route, taking it all the way to the other side of the field. And now the Falcons are in business. Conditions staying the same steady rain out here at Taft Field. Wilson in the shotgun formation, twins to both sides of him. He's dropping back, looking to throw. Slammer out to Northup, and it will be almost picked off, but incomplete. Could have been going the other way to the Rams. So that'll be 3rd and 7 for the Falcons and Wilson. This would be a big time to convert for them If they want points on the board, they're going to definitely preferably want a touchdown with 4:24 to go. They got Northup out wide, and they got trips to the right of Wilson. That's Fragmenti, Fleming, and Wyckoff. And Kyle Quinn is in the backfield to the left of Wilson. Wilson dropping back and looking to throw. And he's looking towards the end zone, and that was an incomplete pass, almost another interception from the Rams. And Aiden Wyckoff was the target, and now it'll be 4th and 7.
They are right there. And in a game that they absolutely have to win if they want to make the state playoffs, this has become a pretty intense matchup. As the rain begins to intensify, this matchup does too.
Still in the red zone, 4th and 7, and they're going to keep those Falcons out on the field. Mitch Ross, big decision from him. Wilson.
Why not go for it?
Wilson again has trips. And he's got one man in the backfield. He's looking to throw. 2-step drop. He's rolling out. Wilson to the end zone, and that's a touchdown. Dylan Fragmenti. He started the drive, and he finishes it. Touchdown, Ludlowe.
Ludlowe's right in this game. They're a touchdown away from tying this baby up before half. This has been very interesting. And this crowd has become awake. They don't care that it's pouring. They care that Ludlowe is competing with one of the best teams in the state. And Mitch Ross is absolutely psyched.
And yes, he should be. At this moment in the game, 13-6, 4 minutes left to go in the first half. And the PAT is up. And it is good through the uprights. 13-7. Falcons coming back. Rams are not in the driver's seat anymore. We're going to take a short break here on FSN. We'll be back after this.
All across the country, people are coming together to speed up what we can learn about health. The All of Us Research Program is calling on 1 million people to join us as we try to change the future of health. For your family, for future generations, for all of us. Visit joinallofus.org and find out how you can become 1 in a million.
Welcome back to Taft Field. Karen Manna, Aiden Blank. Ludlowe Ram football. Friday nights. And we have a good one for you guys, a battle in the rain. As New Canaan receives the kickoff, and they will take the ball at the 30-yard line as the Rams offense is coming out with Drew Pine, as their defense just allowed a horrific momentum-changing drive with Colin Wilson and Dylan Fragmenti getting their connection going last drive, Aiden.
And our guy Steven Wasserman down on the sideline shooting the game. Not going to be too happy because he's not going to be able to leave this game as early as he thought he might have been able to get back to the friendly confines of Sacred Heart University. But we got a good football game, and should Ludlowe win this game, knock on wood, this would be one of the biggest upsets in state history.
Oh, it would be. But Drew Pine does not want to let that happen, and he's out on the field right now. In the I formation, and he's handing it off up the middle, and there go the Rams. The Rams taking it all the way towards the 20, the 10, the 5, touchdown Rams.
Quentin O'Connell was so worried about this team in the beginning of the season when we talked to him at Grip It and Rip It, and he runs it right there like there is no worries in the world. Touchdown New Canaan, it's 20-7. And still not a done deal. New Canaan still has got to play 3 more quarters of good football, but Fairfield Ludlowe is just, in the end, not going to be able to compete with this team.
And O'Connell just blew through the D-line and those linebackers of this Falcons team, and he took that one with ease. He had one man to beat in Brian Howell, and he took him that way all the way to the end zone towards the left side. And with the pending PAT, that is through the uprights. It is 2013 Rams. Rams now back in the driver's seat here at Taft Field. We're going to take a quick break. We'll be back right back here on FSN.
All across the country, people are coming together to speed up what we can learn about health. The All of Us research program is calling on 1 million people to join us as we try to change the future of health. For your family, for future generations, for all of us. Visit joinallofus.org and find out how you can become 1 in a million.
And back at Taft Field, Rams scoring a touchdown. Canaan, Aiden Blank. And the Falcons getting the ball back. And Bork on the return takes it towards midfield, out to the right side and tackled down at around the 27-yard line. And just when we thought the Falcons offense could bring themselves back into this game, it seems like the Rams brought that momentum right back with O'Connell taking a broken play touchdown on the halfback draw all the way to the end zone.
Ludlowe has struggled, and they're going to have problems if they can't score soon.
Wilson back out on the field. He's got trips to his right side and Kyle Quinn in the backfield. Looking for a drive as they had last time with Dylan Fragomeni's connection. Wilson back looking to throw. And that's Fragomeni, and off his hands and almost picked off. Ball was in the air, but no Ram defender comes down on it with a few of them in the area.
Yeah, that's another one that's really, they've come so close to intercepting. The New Canaan D has been just jumping. It's almost like they're reading Wilson's mind and know exactly where he's going to throw it before he throws it. So they've done a great job.
And they have at that. And the Rams defense been swarming all over the Falcons offense all day long. Wilson trying to change that here. Once again in the shotgun formation. Two-step drop, looking to throw, and up the middle, and that's Jake Northup, but in and out of his hands and incomplete as 3 Ram defenders swarming at him at the 35-yard line.
Northup, who was a big name in the first couple of games, has not been as big a name lately. It feels like they're trying to stray away from him, use him more as a defensive player. He's so big, he's his size, but in the end, I mean, there's a target that big. What quarterback in the state can't hit him? So you want him on both ends. You want him on the line, and you want him blocking because he's huge. But then again, he's an easy target to hit and a big yard gainer. He's almost like Howell.
Wilson gets the ball popped out, and it's going to be Rams' ball. Rams come swarming to Wilson. Wilson thinks he was in his throwing motion. We'll have to see what the call is going to be as the refs are consulting at the spot of the play on the 20-yard line. But as of now, it is Rams ball, and they are getting their 3rd turnover converted on the day. This Falcons offense, Mitch Ross, definitely not going to be happy. A sloppy day in the rain for them.
Yeah, and again, the running in this game, the running yards have just been outstanding.
And it's going to be an incomplete pass. So a big break for the Falcons, and they are going to punt the ball from the position that they're in, backed up in their own territory. So going to be giving it over to the Rams, but a big break for Colin Wilson and the Falcons offense. So Kuna is back to punt for Ludlowe.
And this is, regardless of how happy you are with the call, it's going to make a big difference. New Canaan's going to have the ball somewhere around the 40-yard line, whereas on the inside the 18, obviously you just do a couple of run plays and you're in. Especially the way this Ludlowe defense has struggled this afternoon turned evening. Not even 5 o'clock yet also, and it's almost pitch black. So it's just a sloppy kind of night. 3rd week in a row we've seen bad weather forecasted and bad weather change games, including 2 weeks ago when Ludlowe played Greenwich, and the game got moved up from a Saturday to a Thursday.
3:17 to go in the first half of football here at Taft Field. Kuna still back looking to punt as the refs are done consulting on the play. Kuna will get the snap, and he'll fumble the ball, and they're swarming to it. right at the 15-yard line, and it's just like that, Rams ball. So the fumble from Wilson, that incomplete pass goes to nothing. Either way, it's Rams ball at the spot of Wilson's fumble from before, but this time it's Kuna with the fumble. And either way, Rams are getting the ball, and they are in perfect position to score yet another touchdown.
Yeah, no, that was a very tough play. And again, Ludlow is having a very difficult time catching the ball.
They are. And the turnovers have been a problem. And just when we thought they got a break, they did not get the break they were looking for. As Pine looking to throw, end zone, touchdown Rams. Back on the board, Rams putting it at 26 points with 2:58 left to go in the first half. Drew Pine, D1 throw, D1 talent, looking to the back of the end zone, and the Rams moving ahead in a hurry.
They're moving it up, and it's tough. Again, very tough. But Ludlow's just got to hang with them, bear through this, and then they got next week. I'll be filming for our pregame show, which we'll have more information on as we move along in the broadcast. Next week starts Ludlowe Ward.
And the PAT is up, and it is dead through the uprights. 27-7 here at Saff Field. The Rams are in the driver's seat, and they're looking not to give it up when Wilson will come out on the field with his offense after this on FSN. We're going to take a short break, and we'll be back after this. Karen Manna, Aiden Blank, back here at Saff Field. Friday night football, another edition here on FSN with the A-team. And the Rams kicking it off to the Falcons. They're going to have to hold the kickoff as the wind and the rain playing a huge factor here tonight. 2:58 left to go in the first half of football. Rams booting it away. And a squib kick going all the way down to the 15-yard line. And Bork will take the return towards the sideline and be tripped up and tackled down at the 25-yard line. And that is where Wilson and the offense will prepare their drive, which they hope to not have yet another turnover, as their only drive that was successful was a Dylan Fragmeni 65-yard run all the way to the 10-yard line, and then a touchdown to Fragmeni. But since then, and even before that, it's been turnovers for this Ludlowe offense. So trips, once again, that's been the key for them tonight. Looking trips on the left side for Wilson. He's got Kyle Quinn in the backfield. Wilson looking to throw with his two-step drop, but he's now looking to run. He moves it up the middle, and maybe a gain of 1 on the play on the QB option. 2:37 in running left to go in the first half of football. And the clock is running. Mitch Ross not calling any timeout. And Wilson and the rest of the offense looking at the play. Northup, Fleming, and Fragmeni are the guys. Trips towards the near sideline for Ludlowe. And Wyckoff is the lone man outright. Wilson with Kyle Quinn in the backfield. Snap goes to him. It'll be a screen pass out to Fleming. Fleming towards the sideline, and he'll be tackled out at the 35-yard line as he's chucked out of bounds. And a big third down coming up, a third and about 2 yards for the Falcons. Actually, it will be enough for a first down, so Ludlow's moving the chains. 2 plays, and they got the first down. So Fleming gets his first reception of the night. And the trips moves to the right side of the field now. Fragmeni is now the lone man left. Wilson, two-step drop, looking back, and now chugging up the middle. And he'll be tackled down at the 40-yard line towards the left hash. Clock still running, 1:45 left to go in the first half. Wilson and the Falcons offense trying to get to the line in a hurry, trying to get something going here. And now they're going to use twins to both sides of Wilson, Kyle Quinn again in the backfield. 4 men rushing for the Rams. Wilson, 2-step drop, rolling out to his right side, and he's looking to throw, but he drops the ball, and it's a fumble. And the Rams coming up big once again. Let's see what the call is. And yes, indeed, it will be Rams ball. Yet another turnover. Colin Wilson and the Falcons offense sloppy all night long. And the Rams getting the ball close to the red zone to yet again put more points on that board. Keep tacking on.
Yeah, that's tough. And Fairfield Ludlowe has really done a great job hanging tough in this game, but unfortunately, it doesn't look too good for them going into half, but you know what? They've competed. That's all you can ask of a team like this.
And it looked like the game was right back into both teams' territory after that Fragmenti drive. Just 3 drives ago, but now Pine back out on the field, and they're looking to score again. Pine looking to throw all the time in the world, and he connects towards the left sideline, and they're going out of bounds quickly to stop the clock with 1:01 to go.
Plenty of time. No reason they shouldn't score here. And when if and when they score, that probably just does it.
Pine has all the time that he needs from this great New Canaan offensive line. Twins to both sides of him. O'Connell in the backfield, and he's going to flip it and run. That's going to be a run to the outside towards the 20-yard line and taken out of bounds right there. That will be Brian Howell pushing him out. But there is a flag on the play right of the spot of the tackle. And we'll see what the call is. Maybe looks to be on Kyle Quinn and Ludlowe. And it's going to be holding on the offense, so that will move it back. Another big break for these Falcons. 54 seconds left to go in the first half of football.
And they're going to take Howell out here. This is very interesting. Howell is not going to play in this for the rest of this half. It looks like he is done.
Pine looking end zone. O'Connell, and just out of his hands towards the back of the end zone, incomplete, and almost yet another touchdown with 45 seconds left to go.
So on 2nd and 15, they have a big decision here. Do they want to try and score here, or do they want to run the clock out? Obviously, they want to put one on before halftime. Not totally out of the question yet for Ludlowe, and that kind of worries Lou Marinelli, as he has not totally won this football game by half.
Trips to the left of Pine. Pine looking to throw yet again all the time that he's got, and it's almost picked off by Ludlowe on that play. Could have been going the other way for Ludlowe, and it was just in and out of the hands of Jake Simonelli, the 12th grader. But it'll be a 3rd and 15 with 39 seconds left to go. They got a few more plays with the timeouts that they do hold. Pine's got, once again, trips to his left. Looking to throw. He's got his time, looking towards the end zone, and that will be just incomplete, in and out of the hands. Almost a touchdown for New Canaan, but just in and out of the hands of Wyatt Wilson. And now 30 seconds left to go.
Wilson had that was all but into the end zone there. Just couldn't get it.
So 4th and 15, and it looks like they are going to go for it. Would be a decently long high school field goal, especially in the conditions that we have right now.
Oh, yeah. It would be. That would be. I mean, that's got the kind of field goal that Danbury was hitting last week. It's something we would see. It'd be very interesting to see them try and kick a field goal from that distance.
The 4th and 15 for Pine. Pine looking up the middle to throw, but a big tackle from the big man, Jake Northup, with 20 seconds left to go. And now it will be Ludlowe's ball. They only got 19 seconds with their timeouts. We'll see what Mitch Ross wants to do. Will he try to put a drive together with this, a lot of sloppy turnovers, and they're in their own territory, or will he just kneel that ball down and head into the locker room to get dried off with these conditions?
It can only work to your favor if you try to go for it. I mean, you're down 27-7. Why not just try and go for it right now? Maybe make this thing interesting before halftime.
That's what he looks like he is going to do. Wilson in the shotgun formation. He's going to have twins to both sides of him. 19 seconds left on the 24-yard line for the Falcons. Rain staying steady. It's 5:03, and it is dark skies. Wilson gets the snap, two-step drop, looking to throw. Pressure coming, and he's sacked. Wilson goes to the turf, and the New Canaan D-line coming in hot. And that is going to run the clock down to 7 seconds where there will be a timeout called.
And honestly, at this point, I think Marinelli and Mitch Ross will definitely be in agreement. They just want to get out of here. They want to get this game over with as soon as possible, and it's so cold, and it's not a night for football. Not an enjoyable night to be down on the field. 7 seconds to play in the second quarter, and it's 27-7. Unbelievable.
And it seems like they're not going to do anything crazy here. The timeout was called to stop that clock, and it doesn't seem like they'll need to do any laddie fest here as it's the first half of football. But maybe Wilson takes some kind of shot down the field, but that's going to be tough with the Rams now in a prevent defense. They got 3 guys lined up on the 45-yard line. The ball's on the 24, so no balls are going to be going over the heads of these Rams defenders. So we'll see what the offense does here. They got Kyle Quinn in the shotgun. They have Wilson actually lined up, but he will kneel the ball, and that will be the end of the first half here at Taft Field. And there goes the Falcons and the Rams sprinting for their lives into the locker rooms as the weather has been crazy here. A battle in the rain in the first half of football here at Ludlowe. 27 for the Rams and 7 for the Falcons. We're going to take a quick break. Halftime here at Taft Field.
Yes. Oh, hi. I suppose you're wondering what an A-list celebrity like me is doing in a place like this. You must know, I'm saving the world. Oh, hi, Beth. Yep, saving the world again. Did you know that 40% of all the food produced in the United States is thrown away? That means everything that went into that food, the pesticides, the water, the land, was all for nothing. Just look at this perfectly good food thrown in the trash. The pizza with extra Cheerios, these goldfish and Band-Aid tacos. And just look at this perfect trash burger. This pasta dog looks delicious.
You don't have to dumpster dive like Ed Begley Jr. to save the planet. Fight food waste by shopping smart and using what you buy before it gets trashed.
That's way better. Ooh, arugula.
Do your part and find out other world-saving tips at betterthaned.org.
What would happen if I had to pick up the phone, call 911 for one of my family members or one of my neighbors? What would I do if no one was on the other end to respond? What if there was no 911? So you can be a part of the solution.
Anybody can be a firefighter. Male, female, younger, older.
We have school teachers. We have leaders in business.
Is me, you, anyone that wants to be. There is no typical firefighter.
We farm about 3,500 acres. There's pipelines everywhere. The contractor working on my property did not have the lines located before he began work, and it resulted on a strike on a natural gas pipeline. Fortunately, no one was hurt, but it could have been much worse. Calling 811 or visiting clickbeforeyoudig.com in the U.S. only takes minutes to do, and it can save your life.
Many medicines used to treat colds and flu contain acetaminophen, a pain reliever and fever reducer found in hundreds of over-the-counter and prescription medicines. But taking too much or more than one medication containing acetaminophen per day can damage your liver. So always read the label and don't take acetaminophen if you drink 3 or more alcoholic drinks every day. To learn more, visit fda.gov/OTC pain info. A message from the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services Food and Drug Administration.
Anyone can fall victim to moving fraud. Know your rights and responsibilities.
There was never really a valid contract.
Movers must always give written estimates.
I was bound to an estimate, but it was after the fact.
Be sure that any document is complete before signing it, and that it includes information to determine the final charges.
It was a version that I had not seen before.
Visit protectyourmove.gov to download a free moving fraud prevention guide. Search for registered movers and view their complaint histories. Move with confidence.
Matthew. Huh? Oh. I know that a lot of times, Mom, it might not seem like I'm listening to you, but I am. And what you say really does matter to me.
All the talks we've had over the years, including what you've told me about not using alcohol and other drugs, they stick with me, and they make a difference, especially at times that matter most.
Hey, want a drink?
No thanks, I'm good. So thank you, Dad, for preparing me for what's ahead.
Thanks, Mom, for always being my biggest fan.
Thank you for talking.
All right, crew, let's get started. All right.
Don't ignore the law. You must call 811 at least 2 to 3 days before any digging project so you can avoid hitting our essential buried utilities. For digging projects big or small, make the call to 811.
Are you thinking about buying medicine online? A search for online pharmacies yields more than 20 million results. But which ones can you trust? Medicines bought from unlicensed online pharmacies can be dangerous. You may get a fake drug, your condition may get worse, or you may experience a bad reaction. Don't put your health at risk. To learn how to find an online pharmacy that's safe and legal, visit fda.gov/BeSafeRx. A message from the U.S. Food and Drug Administration.
Making is in essence telling a story. Every time I make something, I'm telling a story. When a kid gets their hands on the world and learns that they can make their fantasy play, that they can make their reality, that's power. As far as I'm concerned, everyone should feel that kind of power. So if there's something that interests you, go figure out how to do it. Go tell your own story. There it is. I want to know why you make.
Share your own Why I Make story today. Visit whyimake.org.
Both my legs were amputated due to an IED. It's when you start to try to get back into like an everyday life. I absolutely felt like I lost some of my purpose. There must be something more. When DAV came into my life, they gave me a new mission. I could still be a productive member of society, could still support a family.
The DAV gave him that sense of structure and purpose again to get his life back together.
Visit DAV.org to learn more about our mission.
We believe in patriotism. We believe in our nation's youth. We believe veterans earn their benefits through their service to our nation. We believe in a strong national security. We believe in our country. For 100 years, veterans have been impacting our nation through the American Legion, and we believe it makes a difference. If you believe, learn more at legion.org/webelieve.
Most of us like to be out in the sun. That's why sunscreen and other safety measures are key to protecting your skin from aging and cancer. The FDA recommends using a sunscreen with an SPF of 15 or higher. Also, look for broad spectrum on the label. That means both harmful ultraviolet A and B rays are blocked. Remember, SPF plus broad spectrum equal healthy fun in the sun. Visit www.fda.gov/sunscreen for more information. A message from the U.S. Food and Drug Administration.
Meet Blue. Blue's not feeling well. The prescription? Generic medication. Blue wonders, do they really work as well as name brands? Yes, generics and name brand medications do work the same. Even though they may look different, generics have the same key ingredients. FDA approval is equally rigorous for generics to make sure they're as safe and effective as name brands. And Blue even saves him green, making him a little less, well, blue. Talk to your doctor about generics and visit fda.gov/generic drugs.
Question: what will you find on all over-the-counter or OTC medicine packages to help you choose the right drug and use it safely? The answer: the drug facts label. This label lists the medicine's active ingredients and purpose, how much to take, and warnings you should know before using it. Remember, even OTC medicines you buy without a prescription can cause side effects you don't want. So follow the information listed on the drug facts label. For more information, visit fda.gov/drug facts label. A message from the U.S. Food and Drug Administration.
I was diagnosed at 65.
37. Earlier than most.
Every 9 minutes, someone is diagnosed with Parkinson's disease.
And every one of them can turn to the American Parkinson Disease Association. Visit apdaparkinson.org to learn more and show your support today.
All across the country, people are coming together to speed up what we can learn about health. The All of Us Research Program is calling on 1 million people to join us as we try to change the future of health. For your family, for future generations, for all of us. Visit joinallofus.org and find out how you can become 1 in a million.
Oh, hi. I suppose you're wondering what an A-list celebrity like me is doing in a place like this. You must know, I'm saving the world. Oh, hi, Beth. Yep, saving the world again. Did you know that 40% of all the food produced in the United States is thrown away? That means everything that went into that food, the pesticides, the water, the land, was all for nothing. Just look at this perfectly good food thrown in the trash. The pizza with extra Cheerios, these goldfish and Band-Aid tacos. And just look at this perfect trash burger. This pasta dog looks delicious.
You don't have to dumpster dive like Ed Begley Jr. to save the planet. Fight food waste by shopping smart and using what you buy before it gets trashed.
That's way better. Ooh, arugula.
Do your part and find out other world-saving tips at betterthaned.org.
What would happen if I had to pick up the phone, call 911 for one of my family members or one of my neighbors? What would I do if no one was on the other end to respond? What if there was no 911? So you can be a part of the solution.
Anybody can be a firefighter. Male, female, younger, older.
We have school teachers. We have leaders in business.
Is me, you, anyone that wants to be. There is no typical firefighter.
We farm about 3,500 acres. There's pipelines everywhere. The contractor working on my property did not have the lines located before he began work, and it resulted on a strike on a natural gas pipeline. Fortunately, no one was hurt, but it could have been much worse. Calling 811 or visiting clickbeforeyoudig.com in the U.S. only takes minutes to do, and it can save your life.
Many medicines used to treat colds and flu contain acetaminophen, a pain reliever and fever reducer found in hundreds of over-the-counter and prescription medicines. But taking too much or more than one medication containing acetaminophen per day can damage your liver. So always read the label and don't take acetaminophen if you drink 3 or more alcoholic drinks every day. To learn more, visit fda.gov/OTC pain info. A message from the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services Food and Drug Administration.
Anyone can fall victim to moving fraud. Know your rights and responsibilities.
There was never really a valid contract.
Movers must always give written estimates.
I was bound to an estimate, but it was after the fact.
Be sure that any document is complete before signing it, and that it includes information to determine the final charges.
It was a version that I had not seen before.
Visit protectyourmove.gov to download a free moving fraud prevention guide. Search for registered movers and view their complaint histories. Move with confidence.
Matthew.
Huh? Oh. I know that a lot of times, Mom, it might not seem like I'm listening to you, but I am. And what you say really does matter to me.
All the talks we've had over the years, including what you've told me about not using alcohol and other drugs, they stick with me, and they make a difference, especially at times that matter most.
Hey, want a drink?
No thanks, I'm good. So thank you, Dad, for preparing me for what's ahead.
Thanks, Mom, for always being my biggest fan.
Thank you for talking.
All right, crew, let's get started. Sure.
Don't ignore the law. You must call 811 at least 2 to 3 days before any digging project so you can avoid hitting our essential buried utilities. For digging projects big or small, make the call to 811.
Are you thinking about buying medicine online? A search for online pharmacies yields more than 20 million results. But which ones can you trust? Medicines bought from unlicensed online pharmacies can be dangerous. You may get a fake drug, your condition may get worse, or you may experience a bad reaction. Don't put your health at risk. To learn how to find an online pharmacy that's safe and legal, visit fda.gov/BeSafeRx. A message from the U.S. Food and Drug Administration.
Making is in essence telling a story. Every time I make something, I'm telling a story. When a kid gets their hands on the world and learns that they can make their fantasy play, that they can make their reality, that's power. As far as I'm concerned, everyone should feel that kind of power. So if there's something that interests you, go figure out how to do it. Go tell your own story. There it is. I want to know why you make.
Share your own Why I Make story today. Visit whyimake.org.
Both my legs were amputated due to an IED. It's when you start to try to get back into like an everyday life. I absolutely felt like I lost some of my purpose. There must be something more. When DAV came into my life, they gave me a new mission. I could still be a productive member of society, could still support a family.
The DAV gave him that sense of structure and purpose again to get his life back together.
Visit DAV.org to learn more about our mission.
We believe in patriotism. We believe in our nation's youth. We believe veterans earn their benefits through their service to our nation. We believe in a strong national security. We believe in our country. For 100 years, veterans have been impacting our nation through the American Legion, and we believe it makes a difference. If you believe, learn more at legion.org/webelieve.
Most of us like to be out in the sun. That's why sunscreen and other safety measures are key to protecting your skin from aging and cancer. The FDA recommends using a sunscreen with an SPF of 15 or higher. Also, look for broad spectrum on the label. That means both harmful ultraviolet A and B rays are blocked. Remember, SPF plus broad spectrum equal healthy fun in the sun. Visit www.fda.gov/sunscreen for more information. A message from the U.S. Food and Drug Administration.
Meet Blue. Blue's not feeling well. The prescription? Generic medication. Blue Wonders. Do they really work as well as name brands? Yes, generics and name brand medications do work the same. Even though they may look different, generics have the same key ingredients. FDA approval is equally rigorous for generics to make sure they're as safe and effective as name brands. And Blue even saves some green, making him a little less, well, blue. Talk to your doctor about generics and visit fda.gov/generic drugs.
Welcome back to Taft Field. Halftime is over and third quarter of football is just ahead of us. Aiden Blank, Cameron Manna here at Taft Field. The Rams 27-7. A first half that was the story for Ludlowe was a sloppy offense, and the story for New Canaan was just an unbelievable offense and just firing on all cylinders, really dominating this Ludlowe team, and nothing to be worried about for them coming out in the second half. They just got to keep doing what they're doing, and they got Drew Pine, who's been slinging the ball all over the field all night long, and the New Canaan offense has just been lethal, Aiden.
Trying to use some score updates as we move along. Newtown 21, New Milford 0. Branford 20, Sheehan 7. As we move along today. Jonathan Law is up 6-0 in their game. And it's Shelton 14, Notre Dame West Haven 0, the newest number 1 team. Shelton recently took over Darienne's spot as the number 1 team, so certainly a vengeance week for both squads. Shelton wanting to remain undefeated, as will the Blue Wave when they take on Bridgeport Central.
And the third quarter of football almost underway. Kuna ready to kick it off. And the start of third quarter football, Friday Night Lights on FSN is here. And New Canaan dives on the ball. Could have been a scary one right around the 35-yard line. So Drew Pine and the offense is coming out and once again looking to put some more points on the board, as it's not been a problem all night long for them.
Class LL field hockey semifinals, Class L. This is going to be good. We'll go through as we don't really have much to talk about here. You got Cheshire Newtown. But the real matchup people are going to want to see is Staples Darien. That's a rematch of an FCAC championship game that was played not too long ago, only about a week ago. Darien came out, and Staples Darien is probably going to be, that might as well just be the state championship right there.
And
now, they very well could lose to Cheshire or Newtown in the championship, but for all intents and purposes, that game is almost like a championship game to them.
And that's the rematch that they had last year in the state finals. Staples trying to get a three-peat going, 16-17 and question mark by 18.
Some pretty good matchups in Class LL boys soccer, including Greenwich. Remember, they beat the number 1 team in the state, Xavier, 1-0 in the second round. They play Glastonbury. Another FCAC team that is in is Danbury. Only Greenwich and Danbury are remaining, is Trumbull and Staples and every other FCAC school eliminated in rounds 1 through 2.
As Pine feeds it to O'Connell, and O'Connell heads down the right sideline, heading to the 45 in a first down for the Rams.
East Hartford is the opponent for the Hatters. So they play home in their first game. They beat West Hill 3-2. They play away in their second game. They beat Naugatuck 1-0. Home in their second game. This will be their third straight home game. And if they win, and they play Cheshire, they would have a fourth straight home game. If they play Hall, they would have an away game.
O'Connell just getting a few yards up the middle. And look at East Hartford, what they've done. They just, a 19-seeded team that played really well and moved up throughout the bracket throughout this whole entire playoff.
Staples brings a good team in for girls soccer in Class LL. They're in the semifinals. They'll take on Glastonbury. And a 1-5 matchup that really does not seem like it. It might as well be a 1-2 matchup there, Cam. And then Simsbury, number 19. Wow. Look at this. 2 double-digit seeds making it to the quarterfinals. Number 19, Simsbury, headed to the semis. They'll take as they defeat Wilton 1-0.
And a touchdown pretty much almost dropped right there. Drew Pine looking up the middle for his receiver. And if he had caught that, he would have been running for days all the way to the end zone. But the weather, again, the conditions playing an issue, and it's a drop ball, so now it is 3rd and 9.
And Darien and Ridgefield, that's kind of what it's all come down to, girls soccer-wise. Everybody's kind of paying attention to that game. Whoever wins, the winner of that game, if it's Ridgefield, they'll still have a shot at a second straight girls soccer title.
Pine looking to throw with his 2-step drop all the time in the world. He's got options. Looking to throw. Heaving down the middle of the field, and it's in and out of the hands. Oh, my. Could have been another big play. Christian Sweeney, the 10th grader, could have had a big play right there, but incomplete. So the Rams, with 10:06 left to go in the third quarter, are coming out to punt.
Yeah, that was a bad pass to drop. But moving on to volleyball. As we continue along with our state tournament previews, why not finish it up, Cam? Mm-hmm. You've got not a ton of FCAC teams left either. Darien, the number 12 seed, plays number 13 Glastonbury. Those quarterfinal games are tomorrow. Darien plays at 6 against Glastonbury, hosting that game. West Hill will host Greenwich, that at 5 o'clock tomorrow. Those are the only 3 teams left in terms of FCAC playoff teams. And
Southington, it seems like, is in all these playing very well. Southington,
they certainly do, and a lot of the upstate teams seem to have the number 1 seed. Xavier, Southington,
Glastonbury.
Next week begins the state championships. 2 nights ago was the Class Double Diving Championships. Tomorrow are the trials for the swimming. The final for Class Double L is November 14th. That's during the week. And then November 15th is the Diving State Open Championship, and swimming is on November 17th. 5:30 and 12 p.m. The diving is at Middletown, and the Open for swimming is at Yale. And those are the games that get covered by the NFHS network. They do not cover all the tournaments, or all the meets, I should say, but they will cover those State Open Championship meets. We are working to try and find out if we may have a game for you, even though Ludlowe is basically out of it in every sport.
9:47 to go. Wilson looking to throw. He's rolling out, and he gives it to Northup. Toe tap, and he's tackled out of bounds at around the 28-yard line. And that is where the clock will keep running at 9:35 as the progress was stopped in bounds. So they don't have a spot of the ball just yet. They're going to let Aiden Wyckoff tie his shoe at around the 30-yard line after the play. And the clock is still running. Twins to both sides of Wilson. Kyle Quinn in the backfield with Colin Wilson. Looking to throw. Looking up the middle to Northup, and off Northup's hands and almost picked off up the middle. A bunch of Rams defenders helping out on that play.
Boy, it's taken about 2 or 3 each play, defenders-wise, to take down Jake Northup. And that is just scary to think about.
Yeah.
Mitch Ross has got this weapon at his disposal. Unbelievable.
And we're talking about that for a while about Northup all year, is how he's been a big, reliable part of this offense, especially in the passing game. Even on the defensive side, been a pretty good DN for this team. And he's out there once again. Kyle Quinn in the backfield with Wilson. Twins again to both sides. Wilson dropping back, looking to throw, but he's going to chug up the middle, juke one, juke another, and he's inching closer to the first down as a tuck it and run will keep them shy of the first down. They're going to be just shy. He's very short. The refs gave him a few extra yards on the spot of the ball. But it indeed is going to be Rams ball as the refs are consulting the spot of the ball and where it's going to be on the play. But I think they're bringing out the defense as that was a 4th down, not converted. That is the 3rd of the night. Ludlowe not converting on 4th down, so another turnover on downs. And Drew Pine and the Rams once again threatening in Ludlowe territory.
Ridgefield's taking a 1-0 lead on Darien with about 4.5 minutes to play in that game. So for all intents and purposes, the Tigers bearing a last-second scare are headed back to the CIAC semifinals, a chance to win another state title, defeated Staples last year. Staples still in it very much this year. The Tigers would play Simsbury, number 19, in the second round, or in the semifinals. Again, all the dates for the semifinals have been set. Times and sites have not. Possibly a game here, depending on how it ends up. We may see those 2 games here this year.
Very even playing ground, especially in the state finals. You have to find a spot, and Ridgefield and Darien does seem like the spot for them right here at Top Field.
Darien played Staples in the state quarterfinals last year. Excuse me, the state semifinals last year on this very pitch.
Ludlowe defense playing a good stand right here. A flag by New Canaan just a few plays ago to move it to a 2nd and 20. And now it is going to be a 3rd and long for the Rams. 7:12 to go left in the 3rd quarter as the clock is running. Trips to the right side of Pine. Pine looking to throw. He has the flats open, but all the time in the world. He's got options. And he's looking to run, but now towards the 50-yard line of the left hash, and almost picked off on the play. Jake Northup, Kyle Quinn, all guys in the area. But it'll be incomplete, and now it will bring up their 3rd and long, a 3rd and 17. Both benches hopping around, trying to stay warm. A freezing night, the rain not helping it at all. $6:50 to go. Pine running the offense at the line, moving guys out left and right. He's got no one in the backfield. He's the lone man. 2-step drop, looking to throw. Again, all the time. Looking down the middle of the field, and it is almost picked off. Could have been going the other way for Ludlowe, as there are 2 Ludlowe defenders down on the ground holding their heads, and that's going to bring out the athletic trainers.
Was dangerously close.
Don't have a number on one of the players that is down. So one is holding his hand out there, and it is not Kyle Quinn. One of the players holding his hand out there, we think, is Drew Smith or Zach Hathaway. But the guy on the ground holding his head, who is having the attention out by the 10-yard line, we will get a number to you guys in a minute. The athletic trainers are all over him right now. And Aiden, something that you do not want to have at this point in the game, especially for Ludlowe, down 27-7, just trying to keep pounding through this game, and an injury is just definitely a scare for this Ludlowe team, but not something that they wanted at this time in the game.
Yeah, it definitely is always tough to have the injury, and they're just not, it was not Ludlow's night. And that's kind of what it comes down to. As they're inside a minute over in Ridgefield. The Tigers about to knock off the Blue Wave 1-0. Try and get you some actual football updates as we move along. Nobody's been tweeting yet, although, I mean, kudos to the Connecticut media today.
Yeah.
Those that have been braving the weather. Especially, we know, down on the sidelines of this game, Scott Erickson is writing and tweeting away, and he is braving the conditions, so kudos to him for that.
Medical staff is still on the Ludlowe defender out at the 10-yard line.
A little scoreboard update. Shelton 28, Notre Dame of West Haven 0. That's a pretty big blowout, and it looks, for all intents and purposes, like the Gales are going to stay the number 1 team in the state for another week.
They are.
And again, we're not talking polls. We do talk. We talk on this on our broadcast. We really, honestly, only talk about the state the state rankings because in the end, that's what matters. The game time CT polls are not what puts teams in the state playoff. It's the state rankings that put the teams in the state playoffs. Sheehan has a pretty big deficit to climb after the end of the first quarter. It's Branford 20, Sheehan 7.
Medical staff out in the field bringing out the cart, and they're going to cart the defender off the field. And if I could say who's on the play, it might have been Jake Simonelli, but the number was hard to see.
It does kind of look like Jake Simonelli.
And I hope he is okay, as it did look like a scare. The New Canaan wide receiver came over to obviously see if he was okay, as he was a part of the play. As New Canaan is punting the ball, a sky kick way up in the lights, and not a good one at all. Just a good 35, 40 yards down the field, where it's touched down at around the 23-yard line by the Rams. So it'll be 1st and 10 for the Falcons. 6:20 left to go in the third quarter. 27-7 Rams. And it's going to be the same kind of offense that they're going to try to work here. Short passes, short moves, as that's been, been the best for Wilson, but it's been a sloppy night for them.
The real scoreboard is conveniently placed on GameTimeCT.com. Newtown, the 28-0 lead over New Milford.
And, oh, man, Kyle Quinn gets laid out. Pass intended for him on the slant. And that was a massive hit right there from the New Canaan defender. A big hit by number 40, Christopher Cannett, the 10th grader.
Northwest Catholic trails Weathersfield 7-0. Brookfield trailing Weston 6-0. 21-0 Shelton, again the number 1 team in the state over Notre Dame West Haven. West Haven leading Xavier 31-7. It's 27 Branford. They lead Sheehan. Jonathan Law 6 and Lyman Hall 0, and those are your score updates. Elsewhere around the state today, in girls soccer was Daniel Hand 1, Pomperog 0, Amity 0, and Cheshire 4. And a couple of scores from last night, Hillhouse over 4 and 42-7. Hall lost to Windsor 21-13. Middletown beat Platt 21-18. And Ansonia shut out Seymour 35-0. And again, it's kind of a down week. It's not a big week in the FCAC as far as FCAC games go. Any game, any underdog that wins this week, it will most likely be the upset of the year. Not too many big games to talk about.
And this one not being a tight one right now, 27-7, 5:50 to go, and a 3rd and 5 for Wilson. It's been a sloppy drive so far. He's looking to throw, pump fakes twice, looking up the middle, and there's no one there. Intended for Dylan Fragimeni up the middle. And it will be a 4th down for Ludlowe, and we'll see what they do here. They could bring out Kuna for the punt, but down 27-7, that really does not do anything for them, so it looks like they're going to keep Wilson and the offense out on the field. They're trying to take something back from the Rams. They're trying to be threatening on this drive.
And again, not over yet. If they can put a drive together here, maybe they make this thing interesting.
Wilson to the left side, and it's caught from Dylan Fragmenti. First down, and they're moving the chains. Wilson, a rollout, throw on the run, and completed with 5:33 to go.
Most of the FCAT games are tonight. Greenwich Danbury up at Danbury High School at Tetro Davis Field. It's senior night. Fairfield Ward and Ridgefield. That gets underway at 6:30. It is Trumbull and Griswold at 7. That's games at Griswold. Stanford at Staples Stadium at 7. And then Trinity Catholic hosts Norwalk tomorrow at 11 a.m. at Gaglio Field. St. Joe's hosts McMahon at noon. And at 1 o'clock, it's a pair of games. Wilton at West Hill and Bridgeport Central at Darien.
The energy's coming alive here at Taft Field. The new Canaan football team is all tightened up on their sideline, just, between 20 yards, all huddle up and jump it up and down. And, it might be a blowout here so far, but the energy in, a kind of game like this, got to keep the mood up. Wilson rolling out, looking to run, and he jukes one and jukes another. Wilson putting some players on skates on the Rams side. And that will be a first down, and the Falcons are once again moving the chains.
Big play.
Hey, if Wilson has to do it all, then Wilson will work to do it all. 4:30 to go in the third quarter of football. Trips to the left of Colin Wilson. Actually, it'll be twins to both sides. Kyle Quinn is in the backfield once again. 5 men rushing for the Rams. Wilson, a one-step drop, pump fakes, and off the hands of Whitekoff right through him. And that would have been close to a first down. But it will be a 2nd and 10 for the Falcons. And now they are on their 45-yard line. So a touchdown here would make it 13-27 with the extra point pending if they did score, which puts them in somewhat of a contention for this game. But then, Aiden, it comes back to the defense and what they can do.
Oh, yeah, this game is not totally out of reach. I mean, they would need a score here, and they need a pretty big miracle. But again, it's the best you could have done. They came and they competed. And next week, the point is, you get an extra week off, take that week, and be the best team you can to come out against Fairfield Ward on Thanksgiving morning. That's going to be a game that it's going to be a heck of a game. It's going to be very fun to watch.
Incomplete pass from Wilson towards the left sideline. Wyckoff headed to the Ludlowe sideline to just rub off his hands as, it's been a problem today. Drops from both teams because of the wet weather, and no one is wearing gloves out there besides the lone Colin Fleming. Wilson in the shotgun formation. A 2-step drop. Pressure coming. He's rolling out, now looking to run. Jukes one, jukes another, and slides and hit as he's going to the ground. The Ludlowe sideline wants a flag. And be targeting towards the helmet, the head area, as that has been a big deal in the NFL this past season. But no flag on the field. So it is now a 4th and 5 with 3:33 to go. The offense is being left out there. A battle on this drive, a long battle so far when Ludlow's been on offense in this one. No turnovers yet on this drive. This would be the second drive where they have not held a turnover on the offensive side. Trips to Wilson's left. The lone man right is Wyckoff. And that is a timeout call by Ludlowe with 3:06 to go. So we're going to take a quick break. We'll be back here in a minute on FSN.
Yes. Oh, hi. I suppose you're wondering what an A-list celebrity like me is doing in a place like this. You must know, I'm saving the world. Oh, hi, Beth. Yep, saving the world again. Did you know that 40% of all the food produced in the United States is thrown away? That means everything that went into that food, the pesticides, the water, the land, was all for nothing. Just look at this perfectly good food thrown in the trash. The pizza with extra Cheerios, these goldfish and Band-Aid tacos. And just look at this perfect trash burger. This pasta dog looks delicious.
You don't have to dumpster dive like Ed Begley Jr. to save the planet. Fight food waste by shopping smart and using what you buy before it gets trashed.
That's way better. Ooh, arugula.
Do your part and find out other world-saving tips at betterthaned.org.
Back here at Taft Field after the timeout from Ludlowe. 3:06 to go. And the Falcons offense on a 4th and 5. The energy is loud. The bells are ringing on the Falcon Nest side of things. Wilson in the shotgun, looking to throw. Pressure is coming. He's rolling out, and he will be sacked. 3 New Canaan defenders, but there will be a flag on the play. The whistle was blown, and like 4 seconds later, Wilson was thrown to the ground. Bad sportsmanship from New Canaan's side of things, and that would be unnecessary roughness, and that is a automatic first down. So that is still 2:56 to go. Wilson's helmet also came off on the play. And somewhat of a scary one for the Falcons, and the Falcons Nest did not like that at all. And the refs are consulting at around the 35-yard line to see what the call is going to be. Mitch Ross is out there talking to the referee. Both sides screaming for a call that they want to stand for on this one. But if that is a roughing the passer from New Canaan, that definitely is not something that they wanted. So they're calling personal foul on New Canaan, but they're calling a first down. So they did not call unnecessary roughness, so it's going to be a personal foul, and that will move them back when New Canaan gets the ball, but it is now New Canaan's ball. With 2:56 to go, so a big turn of events there, just trying to see what the call was going to be from the refs as they were consulting for a few minutes. But if it wasn't unnecessary roughness, if that was the call, then it would have been an automatic first down, but it was a personal foul, so that gives them the ball as it was a 4th down, and they did not get the first. So Drew Pine back out on the field. He's in the shotgun with 2 men in the backfield with him, and one of them being O'Connell. Holds one of their touchdowns tonight. And the rain is definitely coming down a lot harder now. The track that cuts off the Ludlowe sideline is getting some water clogged up in it, so that is just showing us how much the rain has been coming on tonight. Mitch Ross out there still talking about the call that just happened before, the personal foul on Colin Wilson being thrown down after the play. He wants an unnecessary roughness, but this call is not going to be changed. The call was made, and it is Rams' ball. You might be looking for where the spot of the foul is going to be held. And a lot of stoppage of play right now. The Richfield game and Darien, that soccer matchup, has ended. And we're talking before about the state championship rankings. A lot of double-digit ranked teams making their way up the bracket. But no surprise here tonight. New Canaan playing dominant football. Drew Pine now in the shotgun formation. And we are now playing some football once again. A handoff to O'Connell. Jukes one, jukes another. Heading up the middle of the field. One man to beat. O'Connell to the 20, to the 10, to the 5. Touchdown Rams. O'Connell takes it the distance, blowing through the Rams blowing through the Falcons D-line and taking it to the house. Rams up 33-7 with the extra point pending. O'Connell has been dominant all night. His second touchdown and close to the 100-yard rushing mark. 33-7, 2:44 to go in the third quarter. The Rams are out for the extra point. And it is up and good through the uprights. 34-7 here at Taft Field. And we are going to stay here in this change of possession. The Rams will be kicking it off quickly with this weather. And now the Falcons, this game has just been taken out of all hope for them. And they still have another quarter of football to go. So Jason Bohr back to return, and Aiden Wyckoff. The Rams are doing everything right tonight. Playing some really good football. It's been Drew Pine. It's been O'Connell, the big power running back, wearing number 20. But the Falcons have had nothing besides a one lucky drive from Dylan Fragomeni. Jason Bohr picks up the ball but gets tripped down. A big tackle right there. And down at the 20-yard line from Wyatt Smith. So the Falcons now 1st and 10, 2:36 left in this third quarter of football. Wilson back out there after that turn of events where he had that big stoppage of play debating between the foul on the Rams against the Rams to the Falcons. Ludlowe has found their play. And they're in the shotgun formation. Twins to both sides of Wilson. Kyle Quinn in the backfield with Wilson. Wilson steps up, gets the snap. 2-step drop. Moving up in the pocket, but the pressure is coming and nowhere to go. And he is sacked for the 4th time tonight. And Wilson and this Ludlowe offense hitting the turf has been something that we've seen all night here. The clock will run with 2:10 left to go and counting.
And that's been the story the whole night with Wilson, is continually getting sacked. This New Canaan defense has been dominant.
Yes, they have. Ball at the 20-yard line for Wilson. Wilson drops back, looking up the middle, and that's Northup. But Northup cannot handle onto the ball, and it'll be an incomplete pass in out of the hands of Northup and the New Canaan's defense. So it'll be a 3rd and 10 for the Falcons. .144 to go and counting here at Taft Field. A rainy night of football. It's been the weather the past few games for these Falcons. 2 6-2 teams going out of here. And an FCAC matchup that the loser here will be out of state championship contention in the playoff. Wilson gets the snap, a low snap that is. He's moving on the pocket, looking to run, and a in and out of Wyckoff's hands. He had him wide open on the curl route, but Wyckoff frustrated after missing a catch right in his breadbasket.
And against a team like this, you gotta catch those passes. New Canaan will not give you many of those easy opportunities.
And as Aiden Blank is away right now, we have Griffin here with us.
Pleasure to be on with you, Cam.
Here on FSN, the Rams and the Falcons. Battle in the rain has been the story of tonight. Low snap to Wilson. Wilson jukes one, jukes another, but then sacked. Had nowhere to go once again, and he's been hitting the turf a ton from these Rams defenders. So they went for it on that 4th down, but they cannot get anything going. So here comes the Rams. 55 seconds left to go in the third quarter. Thanks for tuning in with us here on FSN. So if the Falcons do lose this game, they would move to 6-3 on the season overall, and that would move the New Canaan Rams to 7-2 and staying in that contention for the state championship playoff. Pine looking to throw and incomplete. He was looking towards the 2-yard line. Could have been punched in once again, as they already have 34 points on the board. Mitch Ross is definitely not going to like this from what's going on with his Falcons team. A sloppy day on offense. Have gotten nothing going, and the defense has not been any better, allowing 34 points to the D1 talent in Drew Pine as he's looking to throw here, and he's looking end zone, but an incomplete pass, and there's a flag on the play. Instead of Zach Police in the play, could be a pass interference for Derek Tallman. And it will be. So that will move the ball up. 14 seconds left to go. And it will be a pass interference on the defense. Refs making a few decisions right there. So he'll move the ball up to the spot of the foul where it is. 2nd and 3 for the Rams. Pine getting the play from the sideline. Making some checks at the line. Twins to both sides of him. He snaps it and gives it off, and it'll be a touchdown for the Rams. Halfback draw, Rams. Doing it again. Getting to the crib, and they are moving and putting more points on the board as the third quarter has come to an end here at Taft Field. So now the Rams up 40-0 with the extra point pending. And the extra point is up. High snap, but good. High above the uprights. 41-7. And New Canaan staying on the board, but no time to take a break as the Rams are running right out on the field ready for the kickoff. And they're just speeding up the sense of play here as the fourth quarter is about to come underway. 12 more minutes of football here on FSN for Friday Night Lights. The rain has been steady since 4 o'clock at this start time, 2 hours in to the game. Lights have been on since the first quarter, and it seemed like a night game throughout the whole entire time. They had to move this game up because of the rain.
And the good news is they don't have to have someone hold the football again. Looks like the wind might have calmed down a little bit.
It has. And the kick is up. It is a squib, a line drive to Whitecoff all the way at the 30-yard line. Whitecoff will pick it up. He'll head to the sideline and be tackled down at around the 30 where he got it at the 20, so a 10-yard return. So 11:45 and counting with the score that it is. A certain lead in the FCAC. They just let the clock run. No mercy rule type thing, but no stoppage of clock when the score is at 41-7. The Rams on top. So Wilson again out on the field with his offense that has been struggling mightily all night long. Kyle Quinn in the backfield with him. A two-step drop for Wilson. Looking to throw and to Fragmenti's hands, but in and out of them for an incomplete pass up the middle. And the Ludlowe offense just having trouble all night long.
I'll stop after the drive.
10:55 left to go. 41-7. The Rams dominant all night. a 6-2 battle that is going to end with the Rams at 7-2. Wilson rolling out, looking to throw towards the sideline. And he's now taking it to run, but maybe just a gain of 1 as he's pushed out of bounds. And there's going to be a flag on the play. It'll be on the Rams. So that will move the ball up a bit for the Falcons. As it'll be a 5-yard. Actually, no, it'll be an automatic first down. And definitely frustrating for the Rams. Just want to get this game over with, and sloppy penalties like that are not going to help them out. But the clock is running with the point rule right now. And it is 9:52 left in this ball game here on FSN for Friday Night Lights. Wilson in the shotgun formation. He'll drop back, and he'll give it to Fragomeni. Fragomeni hauls it in, and he jukes to the left side towards midfield and tackle down just at about the 45-yard line.
And it seems like Wilson and Fragomeni, they keep connecting throughout this game.
They have, and Fragomeni hauling in that ball right there. The only drive where they really had something going was that connection with Fragomeni for a 65-yard reception. Fragomeni lined up to the left of Wilson. Wilson looking to throw. Pressure coming. He's rolling out and going up to the middle of the field towards the 40. Now back up to the middle of the field, and he's getting a first down and some more. Tackle down at the 35-yard line. And Wilson is trying to do everything he can, but now there's a New Canaan defender down at the spot of the play, where the play was stopped. And he is holding his helmet. He will be able to get up with his own power on this one, which is definitely a good sign. The clock will still run at 8:20 right now. And he will head off the field. And does not seem too serious. He is wobbling off the field. That will be New Canaan's defenseman Walker, the cornerback who's been doing a decent job tonight. Got in the third quarter, as he is not an upperclassman. Wilson getting the play from his sideline, and Mitch Ross makes some checks at the line. Twins to both sides of him. Wilson looking to throw, and it's caught by Wyckoff. Wyckoff spins and gets a few extra yards in the play.
And like you said before, that's where they've been really successful with the short passes. And also, in this second half, Wilson has done a really good job with his legs. He's got a lot of first downs running.
He has. That's been a big part of them all year long. Wilson really been a big part of this offense when successful. Tonight has been sloppy, Griffin.
Yeah, I think it could be some of it's due to the rain and the wind out here.
The rain still coming down. Wilson drops back, looking deep to the end zone, but there is no one there. And the ball just gets bounced around at the 10-yard line. Wyckoff on a curl route was not going there. Some miscommunication again from Wilson and Wyckoff. That's the third time tonight that has happened. Just not a good night. A offensive night from the Falcons that they definitely want to forget. Getting the play from the sideline. 6:35 left in this one. 41-7. The Rams on top. Drew Pine, O'Connell, the big man, number 20, have been doing their thing tonight on the offensive side. Ludlowe trying to get some points on the board. As Wilson rolls out an incomplete pass as another drop intended for Kyle Quinn towards the right sideline.
Yeah, and like you said, it's just been a tough night for this offense. The Falcons' offense usually they run score up, they get the score up really high, and usually it's trouble in the defense, but tonight's both.
Yeah, and them dropping the ball a ton. Seem right there. The past 10 plays, there's been 6 drops on those past plays from the Falcons. Looking for some success here with only 5 minutes left. 5.5 minutes left to go in this game. Wilson drops back and giving it to Kyle Quinn. And Kyle Quinn catches it on the slant, edging closer to a first down, but a great tackle by the Rams. And they were short of the first down, so that is yet another turnover on downs for the Rams. For the Falcons, and that could be the last time we could see them on offense tonight. So Pine and the Rams heading back out on the field to put some more points on the board as Aiden Blank has stepped back in the booth. And it was great having you, Griffin.
I'll tell you, it has been freezing tonight. This is just absolutely an anti-football kind of night. It is absolutely bitter and the kind of night you want to forget if you're the Fairfield Ludlowe Falcons. And for New Canaan, again, if they lost this game and this was the reason they didn't make the state playoffs, they would be absolutely livid. So at least they put themselves in a possibility. No one's saying they will or won't win on Thanksgiving morning, but at least they've given themselves a chance to move on to the state playoffs.
And a flag on the play by the Rams will move it back 5 yards. I think they're calling a delay of game. 4:09 left to go. That's a first down and 15.
And also that comes into the point that New Canaan is playing in their first year as a Class LL squad.
Yeah.
There was a point at which actually Darien and New Canaan both had to play in the Class L championship. So they've moved up significantly, and this is big boy football. It's becoming increasingly clear to the Rams. This is not you get in because you're New Canaan like it was last year where they got an 8 seed after losing all those games. You have to really earn a playoff spot in Class LL, and it's going to be really fun to see how this turns out. Thanksgiving morning may not be enough for a lot of these teams.
A big run from the Rams, getting a first down and 10 after the penalty, so a 15-yard run. Pine trying to wind down this clock, get out of here safely, and move to 7-2. The buses are rumbling and ready to go for this Rams squad. Pine in the shotgun. And the Falcons definitely bringing a blitz here. They're rushing 5. And it'll be a fumble. Pine will hop on it. A bad snap. Kyle Quinn coming in hot. But it will stay Rams ball, 2nd and 10, and 2:45 left to go. Another Friday night edition of FSN football with the A-team here, Karen Mann and Nathan Blank.
Fairfield Ludlowe just trying to get a touchdown or two as we move along. And again, night to forget. Night to forget it for us as well. This has been a rough night in the booth. We have just about all the coaches that aren't on the field up here, and we don't have video, as you may have noticed, for this game, and it's been a night to forget. But hopefully by the time we're at Dunning Field next year, New Canaan will be a little more gracious in hosting us, and the Mother Nature will be a little more gracious with us, and we'll see some really good football. But again, Thanksgiving morning, that's kind of what we're at now. We won't have another FSN live broadcast until then. We will have we'll get you our schedule as we move along, as it is set to this point.
As right there, one of the last plays, Pine kicking as a keeper and sliding down. 1:30 to go. The clock is ticking down on this one. And they want to run it out. Pine flips it over on the halfback pitch, and then we'll get a first down. So the clock will run. Maybe one more play left here at Taft Field until the Rams get a sealed victory.
So for our schedule for Thanksgiving, next Thursday, we will have our rivalry week begins as the Ludlowe and Ward freshman teams will do battle at Taft Field for town bragging rights. Our cameras will be there for highlights. You can follow us on Twitter for shortened highlights of the freshman game on Thursday, the JV game on Saturday. And the full highlights can be seen on our FSN tailgate. Most likely an hour-long special on Thanksgiving morning. Then we'll drop our preview show on Wednesday, November 21st. That's the night before the big game. And then Thanksgiving morning, we get going at 8:30 with FSN Tailgate. We'll have analysis, interviews, highlights from the JV and freshman games. And then at 9:45, our coverage begins of the game. And as always, we do like to keep it free cam. We will be disbanding from NFHS for the game, at least. We will have our live broadcast on YouTube to be live streamed and uploaded at 1080p afterwards. Maybe a possible CD or DVD purchase afterwards.
And the clocks hit 000. The Rams take the win 41-7. They'll move to 7-2 on the year, and the Falcons will move to 6-3. They're lining up at the 50-yard line to shake hands as it was a battle in the rain out in the field and here in the booth with Karen Manna and Aiden Blank on FSN. A game that Ludlowe definitely wants to forget. Mitch Ross and his team have some work to do heading into that Thanksgiving game, and the Rams got to keep rolling as they want to head into some state championship contention.
Yeah, and again, the Rams have to win next week. No negotiating about it. They've danced around having to beat these big teams, but if you lose to St. Joe's, Darien, and New Canaan, and Greenwich all in the same year, those are the top three teams in the FCAC, no doubt at this point. And if you lose to those three teams and you can't even beat one of those three teams, it's just not a game you do not deserve to be in the state playoffs. So that said, we'll say goodbye for now, and it's been a pleasure. It's been a cold night here at Taft Field, and again, we do appreciate anybody and everybody that tuned in tonight, but for Cam Manna, Griffin Forberg, our executive producer Dan Sierra, I'm Aiden Blank, and that's it. 41-7, your final. New Canaan defeats Fairfield Ludlowe. We'll see you on Thanksgiving morning. As always, for our live updates, stay tuned to FSN Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook. We will catch you all on Thanksgiving morning for FSN Tailgate, and we will see you then. Have a good night, everybody.